Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. Feeling well. I'm Ralph, and I'm here today with...
Hi, I'm Lloyd. Good to be here once again. It's a beautiful fall day.
Yes.
Outside.
It's a chilly day.
It's a chilly day.
We like to start with the weather.
We do.
Like a hack novelist.
We love it. It's a way to ground the episode in a terroir.
That was actually one of Elmore Leonard's rules for writing.
Was it?
Was that you shouldn't open a chapter describing the weather because it's
Really?
like, yeah.
Oh God.
Because it's like, the wind was whistling through the trees.
Of course, yeah. Well,
outside the apartment where Dan and Ralph sat. But I like to set the scene. I want the listener to be. I want this to get increasingly immersive. I really want to simulate the experience of sitting proximate to two guys yucking it up.
That's what we can offer you. And I biked over here. It's we got leaves blowing around. Mm-hmm. Halloween was a couple days ago.
Thursday, yeah.
Pumpkins still remain on door stoops.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do anything for Halloween this year?
I did. I went to a poetry reading at the Poetry Project, which is like that quaint-looking building in the middle of the Lower East Side.
Yeah. Yes, I think I know the place.
Yeah, it's actually like a pretty storied location. There's like a poetry reading, and there's an after party. Very boring poetry.
Oh no,
boring.
No.
And I didn't know anything about it. Just some friends of mine invited me, and I showed up before them. They came quite a bit later. But one friend was texting me. He's like, "Hey, did so and so go up yet?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And then that poet, she came up, and I was like, "Oh, she's reading now." And then when he got there, I was like, "Are you like a fan of hers? Like, why are you asking about her?" And he was like, "Oh no, it's just we almost had a threesome once, and I heard that she got butt implants, and I wanted to see what they looked like." And she didn't look like she had butt implants. She had a bit of a. In fact, she had a bit of a pancake fanny. Oh. But plastic surgery is more common than you think it is. It's not just like...
You don't say.
It's not just like the Kim Kardashians of the world. Like it's on the level of like rich NYU girls. I think there's a lot of them in New York, and their dads like buy them like subtle plastic surgery or nose jobs when they're in like high school and stuff.
So this is not simply the purview of like celebrities and the ultra rich. Like this is a somewhat...
Of like the upper middle class, yeah.
Like it's a fairly standard thing.
I think so. And I mean, she was hot. I mean, she looked like pretty synthetic. But sometimes it looked like her skin was waterproof.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes
I suppose that might also be just a lot of skincare.
Yeah.
Like people who do a lot of skincare, you can just kind of tell their skin just looks. It looks
rubbery,
less porous.
But sometimes I like that. Sometimes I like a synthetic, abject-looking woman. You know? Not as my first choice, but
a synthetic-looking woman.
Synthetic,
like
abject,
like an android,
corpse-like, more corpse than android.
More corpse than android. God. That's nothing going on.
Just one of the. It's just one of the colors of the
Folks,
rainbow. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. It's all fine.
Yeah,
no,
just sharing an opinion.
Nothing wrong with having an opinion. I mean, when I see people like that, like I work in Soho, and so I see a lot of models. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of I see a fair amount of celebrities, and there is just kind of a like they look more illustrated than a peasant like you or I.
Sure. A horny-handed son of the soil.
That's right. I love that. That's great. Oh boy,
it's a very you thing to say.
I saw The Lighthouse. I guess it was week before last now. But
the film with Robert Pattinson,
2019. Yes, that's the one. I was a big fan. I think you were a pretty big fan as well.
Yeah, well, you know what I liked about that movie? You know what it made me think about? Podcasts.
Did it?
Yeah, because I've recently been on this kick. I had a conversation with someone recently where I was like, when I stop to think about it, I feel like 90% of my memories are of media. Because because someone on Instagram like tagged me in like some post on like some nostalgia account, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and I was just like, damn, like what are my memories? And it's like, well, I remember what TV shows I was watching in 2002 or whatever.
Right.
And I don't think I'm the only one. It felt very bleak to think of that. But what I appreciated about that movie was like oh, I'm not actually missing much, because back in the day things would get so boring, you would have nothing to do but like dumb dances, become an alcoholic and kill your friends,
Make flower garlands.
True, which is still, you know, those are the only choices now, with the added benefit of looking at your phone. But if those fellas had, you know, a Netflix account and access to Pornhub, that movie wouldn't have ended the way it ended. I mean, it was really extreme, you know, boredom, which can drive you crazy.
Not exactly related, but sort of related. Did you see Midsommar?
I didn't see it. No.
You didn't see it? Okay.
I felt an aversion to it. First of all, I do not like Hereditary.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that one.
I thought Hereditary was very overhyped, and I didn't see this one because I don't know. Sometimes when a movie, like, it was being billed as like the ultimate relationship movie, and like,
right.
oh, this movie's gonna split up.
Which it wasn't. It was like, it was pretty. There was too much. It was just fun. The film, honestly, I don't think it took itself too seriously. I thought it was like a lot of fun. People were reading a lot into it. The marketing campaign was pretty insufferable after a fashion. I don't know.
Why was it insufferable?
I think this thing that A24 does, where they really seem to get up their own asses about just, I don't know. They have their aesthetic, like they have their
big time. It's like almost like old school, where like the studio has its house aesthetic.
Sure. I mean, and it usually works on me. Is the fucking thing. Like I am definitely the target audience for this kind of thing, and you know, it makes me feel a little gross. But I liked the movie. It was fun. I got in a fair amount of disagreements with mutuals whose opinion I tend to value about Midsommar, on how it was just like a shitty Wicker Man.
They were like fanning the flames of like the woke discourse.
No, not at all. Like just saying it was.
That's what I imagine your mutuals do.
No, hey.
That's
not fair.
A few of them followed me after you tweeted about the podcast, and I can't wait until they actually get around to giving the podcast a spin. And it'll be like, you know, Lloyd, you're really funny, but your friend seems borderline reactionary.
Oh,
he seems borderline fash.
They'll be making the soy face when they say that as well. So
exactly.
No, there's a. I actually found out what the soy face was for. I wasn't sure what it was for a very long time, though. I was aware of the term. I was aware of like the implications of the term.
Yeah.
So as I understand it now, it is specifically like opening your mouth in shock and joy while with the front facing camera with an object behind you.
It's a thing a lot of guys do. It's a very, you know. It's not I don't think it's a great look. I think it's very much the like where my hug at guy kind of face.
I think I tend to be with you there.
It's like a neutered, try hard, really I'm just a cuddly teddy bear kind of guy.
That I
distrust.
Yes. I do find that menacing, certainly.
Yeah.
God, who was it?
I don't think I've ever seen you like really smile a toothy grin in a picture.
I don't like to do that. I feel very
smile.
Like
the best we get from you is like kind of like you found peace with your resignation. It's like with the
resigned.
Just kind of like It's not quite like you're smiling. It's the expression of like when someone said like, yeah, and then my son fell off his bike and scraped his knee. Oh, you hate to see it. You know, that's the face.
That is not the face I make. I make much nicer, more genuine smiles. I
mean, it's hard to really express joy without showing your teeth. You know?
Right. No, I think.
But I tend to avoid smiling too, just because I don't like the way it makes me look.
No, there was someone whose opinion I respect quite a bit once told me that her New Year's resolution was to smile less, and I think that's I think that's something to aspire to. It is. I mean, in a lot of cultures, well, I don't know about a lot of cultures, but I know in like Eastern Europe and like the former Soviet bloc, like smiling too much is
like
seen
rude, right?
It's seen as a sign of untrustworthiness. It's seen as like you're trying to get one over you're trying to influence them by disarming them with a smile.
What are you so fucking happy about?
Right.
I kind of feel that way about a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are certain behaviors in a lot of animals, like associated with like play fighting behavior.
Okay.
Where it's like little things that they'll do to indicate that you're playing. Like I think dogs will like exhale through their. What do they do? I should know this. They
bark. They go woof woof.
But they do something else.
They sniff each other's butts.
They do like small, like during the act of play fighting, to let the other one know that this is not a real fight. Like this is not actually dangerous. And I see that reflected sometimes on Twitter, where like people will be riffing in a thread and like kind of fake making fun of one another. And if you're in like a certain quadrant of Twitter, I don't know if this happens everywhere, but if you don't fave the person's reply, like faving each other's replies is just letting everyone know that this is not a real fight.
That's some real passive aggressive bullshit right there.
I mean, it's too, what is it? What would you call this?
No,
is this strengthening the bond between mutuals by
funny.
faving?
That's very similar. I was thinking about this. You tweeted yesterday a Twitter poll asking which seems more genuine, and it was LMAO, the acronym, laughing my ass off, or ha 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 ha. Yeah. And last time I checked, I was really surprised by the results, because I find the ha 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 so much more genuine.
That got like 2/3, something like that.
Oh, maybe so that came out on top.
Yes.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you said, okay, so what you're saying about liking the replies in the thread, I don't quite do that, but something that's very similar is that me and people I know, if you want to soften something, you end it with like an LOL.
Right.
Like Linda was pretty pissed off last night. LOL.
Right.
Right.
That's one of the same behaviors.
Yeah.
Laughing. Like laughing is like, this is not.
But it's not actually. But it's not actually. You're not actually saying you're laughing.
Yeah.
It's either like, if it's like an LOL at the beginning of the sentence, it's like I'm recognizing your levity, or it's like it's like you're trying to soften something. Ironically, it's when someone is trying to express something more earnestly and seriously. Yes. I'll often see the LOL.
Yeah.
Like, like
something grim or
maybe
something
you should go back
unpleasant.
to the doctor, man. LOL.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want this, because without the LOL, it feels like it's too real. It's like too serious, because you don't hear the tone of the person's voice.
Right.
So it's like, I hate to tell it to you, but yeah.
We're all in this together.
And the
gallows humor.
I mean, I don't often use it. Depends on the person. A thing me and Sam have always done is that if we genuinely laugh, we write the word laughing.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if anyone else does that,
sometimes.
But that's what we do. That's when we're really laughing. When we really, when we're like, if I say something really funny, like, just heard the cuck store ran out of Lloyd Howell's, that'll elicit a laughing, But if it were to just get like an LOL, I'd be like, well, what funny shit are you bringing to the table? It's almost an insult. Just like you share a funny post and you just get the LOL.
Yeah.
Because it feels like I'm being pitied.
Right.
But I also don't know how much of that is my own imagination, because I don't know if these things, if the etiquette is the same across the board with everyone.
Oh yeah. No, it's not.
I always assume the worst.
Of course.
I really do. I'm like, you don't have to. You think I fucking need this from you? Ignore me. Delete my number if this is how you're going to treat me.
Of course, no. That is a completely proportional response.
No room for improvement.
None whatsoever
within my operating system. Yeah.
No, I do. Yeah, I mean, I do. Excuse me. I do spend quite a bit of my free time online and like in these kind of micro communities that have sprung up on the internet, and like, I do cherish them to a point, and then I'm like, well, sure. Like they I think they provide like a real kind of, there's a real sense of a small but important like sense of community that
Lloyd was doing the Bill Clinton hand thing while he said that. Yeah.
I wasn't I? What am I trying? What am I doing here?
You're like a young John Ossoff.
John.
Folks remember him?
Oh, you remember John Ossoff?
I shouldn't have
That
referenced
guy.
That's a pretty out
I
there
can't put a
reference.
face to a name anymore. I know exactly
He's
who
the
you're
first
talking about.
guy who ran after Trump was elected.
That's
he
the
was,
one.
He was like a congressman.
That's
he
the
was
one.
like this completely bland, like down the middle Democrat, and of course he lost.
Like a skinnier John Edwards. Like
he was an even rougher sketch of what Beto and then Buttigieg would be.
Yes.
Yeah, like no personality whatsoever.
Oh boy, Buttigieg.
But I don't want to talk about politics.
We don't have to talk about politics. We don't have to get into it.
I don't want to alienate any potential listeners.
Listen, Mayor Pete.
You people
around.
tell me, you want me to be one of these rose emojis that follow Lloyd? I'll be that. You want me to go in the other direction?
He's here for it.
You want me to go fash? I'll go fash. You want me to?
Please don't tell him to go fash.
You want me to be?
He'll do it.
You want me to be a down the middle of the fucking road lib? I'll do that too. You want me to be a gamer? I'll be a gamer. You want me to get on Twitch?
Would you do Twitch? Really?
I mean, Twitch does so many. Twitch is so many different things now. It's basically just a live feed.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Twitch.
But you were
I
saying
just don't have the stomach for. I can't. I've tried to it's just consume a Twitch stream, but all the live stuff tends to be.
It is.
I don't know.
It is stranger.
Similar to podcasting in a lot of ways, but I think it's worse. I don't know why I think it's worse.
It's an even more watered down version of a podcast.
Yeah.
Because like a stream will go on for more than an hour.
Right.
It's in response to something presumably, so there's even a lower expectation of substance. And it's like, and it is awkward like that it is happening live and that you can't pause it.
I do kind of resent that those things exist, especially if they're some kind of, I don't know, achievement or like length based endeavor. Like if you're like reading the entire works of Shakespeare or like finishing an enormous video game all in one go, it's like, I mean that's the whole impetus behind a lot of charity drives is like, like giving, because a lot of these streams will be charity streams. It's like, okay, like I'm going to do this, like not necessarily difficult, but time consuming thing in order to raise money for a cause. And it's like,
I'm not familiar with that. I just feel like it's just another means of like live video.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there are those live streams that are like special events. And then there's, I mean, a lot of podcasters, a lot of like,
a lot
of those guys know, like, and even celebrities. Like, I don't know. Do you follow like Daft Lemmy, that Scottish comedian guy?
No, I don't know who that is.
He's funny. He had a show on BBC, but now he also has a Twitch stream, and a lot of people have similar things, like celebrities that have these second homes.
That's the way you got to do it.
Just
that's the way you got to do it.
Put yourself everywhere.
More. Give all of yourself or none. All right. Commodify every square inch of your life. Folks, I will do this if you want me to. Lloyd's views are not my own. The amount of dignity I have is none. All right. I've given up. I used to be like Lloyd. I used to be like, these are my beliefs. No more.
No more.
Right? Just
folks.
tell me what to do.
That ship has sailed, and he is ready. He's gonna fire up that Twitch, and he's
That's
gonna.
Right.
Let's get some hearts going.
I'm doing the incel jaw exercises.
He's doing.
Just
God, is that a fucking thing? Like,
how do you not know about that?
I mean, I'm familiar enough with incel culture broadly, but I didn't know that. But I do know that they are very fixated on like jawlines.
My high school age sister knew about those.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They know about that stuff. Yeah,
of course they are.
They're even more online than us.
Zoomers, yeah.
Yeah.
Off-putting.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one Zoomer in the group chats that I'm in.
Oh, you got a Zoomer in your group chat?
Yeah, we do. I don't know who let him in. Shout out to Jacob. You're a menace. But
I've never been in a group chat in my life.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't. I mean, maybe. There's a lot of different group chats.
My friend group doesn't work that way. Too many people I know secretly hate each other for a group chat to work. Yeah, everyone I know is like either a bitter loner or they're like a crazy person that the loners resent, So it's hard. I don't know why why we would all be on one page, but yeah. So I guess you have these online communities.
Yeah. Just kind of over the years.
I was thinking about you. There's something the amount of online you are, there's something tragic about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like if the internet didn't exist, you would just be a guy who is like content to sit in a rocking chair and whittle a block of wood or grow your potatoes. But here's the thing. The internet does exist.
Yeah.
And you're addicted to it.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, and I'm addicted to it too, but that makes sense. If it wasn't the internet for me, it'd probably just be something else. But with you, it's like this foreign pathogen that's fucking with your nature.
So
you're like this corrupted.
It took something away from me.
Yeah, you're like this corrupted file. Like something about you has been made impure. You're like those lab rats that give cocaine.
It's like the dark crystal or something.
On them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like. Yeah, again, like corrupted is what I think. It's like you're glitching. It's like there's a virus.
Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I'm doing a podcast. I have a
garden.
home. I have a garden. I could be there right now, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be doing this.
There's a fracture in you, I think.
Two wolves live in me.
You're a fracture and I'm a black hole.
You're a black
You're a fractured hole. WHOLE. You're a fractured hole and I'm a void.
Yes.
Put us together, it's like chocolate and peanut butter.
We love it. We love to listen to it.
You're a little bit country, I'm a little rock and roll.
This guy. He can get up to a little rock and roll, let me tell you. Oh, Lord. I do. I mean, I know why I started posting. Like, I know why I kind of.
I was pretty late to posting. I was pretty late to posting.
You were. Yeah. I think like, I mean, the reason that once I looked at my.
Did you post in high school?
I did not.
Okay,
I did not have
neither did I. Well, I guess I posted on Facebook, but I wasn't like in online communities or anything. Oh, actually, that's wrong. I was on the IMDb message boards quite a bit, but it didn't feel the same.
It's not the same thing. I mean, I'm a couple of years older than you, and so when I was in high school, like Facebook and Twitter really weren't widespread at all. By the time I got to college, like I started my Facebook account. I think it was like the second half of freshman year. Mm-hmm. And so I was already, before that, I don't like how I sound right now. It's kind of talking about this stuff, but we had like live journal. Like I was the live journal. I was the live journal generation. And that was, it's all, points on a spectrum.
Well, MySpace, I guess you must have had.
I did have a MySpace briefly, but it was more live journal for me. AOL Instant Messenger, all that stuff. It worked fine. Same basic setup from what we have now, just, less monetized and less nuance. But no, I like started a Twitter in 2009. Like and then.
Did you ever have an internet only girlfriend?
God. No, I didn't.
Took you a while to answer that.
I was trying to think, like, did I have, like, because there were, I mean, I think back to middle school and high school when I was on the internet and I was like playing games on Microsoft Network and not.
I know someone who did.
Yeah, like had an online girlfriend.
Someone just a few years ago.
Yeah. I think I know about this guy.
Yeah. His name. I talked about him on the last episode. His name is Dale.
That's right.
And, we were living together. Actually, this is like the final Dale chapter.
Oh, okay. Let's save this one for another time.
But all right, I'll tell you.
I don't know.
I'll tell you a different Dale story.
Okay, please do.
So, all right. So this is just something I've heard from him when he was blackout drunk. He otherwise probably wouldn't have shared it with me because it's a pretty mortifying secret. So I'll tell it on my podcast. But so I'm going to tell you this story, Lloyd, and then I want to know what your ethical read on it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give some background on Dale's character because I feel like that's crucial. I'm going to tell the story as I understand it, and I want us to break it down and kind of issue a verdict.
Okay, I'm prepared.
All right, so first, so Dale he's an extreme gamer. He's a really online guy. Not in the sense of like, you know, he's constantly trying to promote his brand on like Twitter or whatever, but it's like he lives on like video game forums. He has like relationships with people through, I don't know, like playing video games live or whatever, like that kind. And he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. He is not an antisocial presence, but he certainly leads an antisocial life. And he never really, to me at least, ever expressed any kind of like sexual identity. You know, like he never was like, oh, so-and-so is attractive or whatever. It was just nothing. You know, he was very eunuch like, and he just liked being in his little incubator in his room gaming, you know. And like, for example, like when we were in high school, you know, I've known him since I was in middle school. We don't talk anymore, but like, you know, it was like prom, and I told him like, oh, you should take Liz to prom, and like he did, but I feel like he just did it because he's like very suggestible because I told him to. So like he's like that level of like that level of just kind of being socially checked out and a pushover, you know? Yeah. So anyway, you know, like I said, he's living with me for like a year in Brooklyn. He's one of like 2 roommates I have. And, oh wait, no, I was about to segue into the final chapter story. All right, hold on. Let me wind back. Anyway, so he comes to visit me freshman year of college, and he gets blackout drunk, and he like tells me this story that, you know, he went to a different college than me, and he decides to do something out of character, and he goes to a party, you know? It's like a college...
It's kind of a big deal for him.
I guess so, yeah. It was like a college house party, you know? And he goes to the party. He doesn't go there with anyone else. I don't think he really knows anyone else there. Maybe he knew the host. I don't know. But it's a party. There's activity. And in the center of the party, like on a couch in the middle of a dorm is a young woman. And she's pregnant. Like pregnant enough that you would definitely notice.
Sure.
You know, far along. Okay. And she's drinking. And she's sobbing.
Oh.
Not what you want to see.
No. That's an alarming situation.
A less than ideal picture.
You don't want to be there. You don't want to know that's happening.
It's, you know, a bit of a party pooper, in other words.
You could say that.
So certainly. It's like, what the fuck kind of party is this? I don't need this. I'm in college.
I'm in college. I'm having a good time.
So I'm studying lithography. I don't need this. I don't want to see a tragedy on a Friday night, but so
I'm young and alive, assholes.
So, you know, Dale is, you know, he's a pretty nice guy, but like, you know, he approaches this woman and he tries to comfort her. And
I don't like where this is going.
Let me tell the story. And she tells him something along the lines of like the father of her child, they got into a fight and they broke up or something like that, you know? And one thing led to another, and apparently they ended up having sex.
Oh, okay.
Now, I would like to break this down layer by layer.
All right. Okay,
so first, I think, well, thesis statement, this is not great.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Right off, the headline is this was not a good thing to do. All right. I'm not going to argue against that.
The thesis being that Dale shouldn't have.
This was a regrettable thing
everything
to
about
have done.
It. Okay. Yeah.
This was not the move.
No.
All right.
No.
So, okay. And crucially, I say this not to absolve him of responsibility, but he said that he basically suggested that she was the instigator. And I believe that, if only because, you know, I think sometimes when people are in like an extreme emotional state, you know, especially when there's alcohol involved,
sure,
I could see her kind of in just like making like, you know, like making a move in just kind of like a misjudged way. It's just something people do, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah.
But of course, what if Dale were a normal person, he would say, you know, like, oh no, this is not appropriate. I really think we should get you home. Is there like a friend of yours we can contact? Something like that.
Something,
you know,
right.
Not having sex with the person.
Yeah,
I would say
would have been the move.
Yeah, but let's hash out just how wrong this was. Let's try to figure it out. Okay, so let's say the scenario was, let's look at it a few different ways. Let's say it was not drunk, not crying, but pregnant.
Not drunk, not crying, but pregnant.
Still pretty weird for me.
Ethically, though, I think that's like, I mean, nothing wrong with having sex with a pregnant woman.
Sure.
Right?
I think, I'm not,
that's not a question for me. Like, you know,
I'm just saying that a pregnant woman looking for anonymous sex at a college party, it's slightly weird. With like,
if she, looking for sex at a college party, I guess I don't know. Is this like just a woman from the outer world? Like, is she not a student at the college? We don't know.
Why does that matter?
I mean, if she's a student at the college and is pregnant, like, I don't know, we can't hold that against her, right?
No.
I mean, she
it's a little weird
to be pregnant at 18. I mean, I agree it's not ideal, but it's not it happens.
No, you misunderstand me. I'm saying someone who's pregnant, like on the prowl at a college party, reads as slightly strange to me.
I agree that it is slightly strange. But in this scenario that you're talking about, where the woman isn't drunk or crying,
I'm talking about the ethics of Dale.
The ethics of Dale
hooking up with the pregnant woman who is not drunk or crying.
I mean, I don't see any problem with that at all.
I don't think it's that bad, but I do think it's weird, and I do think maybe it could be interpreted as, well, if this person is doing this, perhaps they're going through something, and it wouldn't be great to take advantage. I mean, I don't know.
Same scenario though, like this woman and the father of her child.
No, the drama is not there. The drama is not there. Yeah,
just a otherwise
a fully pregnant woman. You don't think that's weird at all?
You know, if
at the end of the day, no, I don't think it's wrong, but it's a little odd.
I mean,
it would make me slightly uncomfortable.
It would make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think you know, if we're gonna think of, you know, a pregnant woman in the abstract, you know, we're thinking of a woman who's attached. So we're thinking of a woman who's like got responsibilities, and so, you know, seeing that person in the context of a college party, I think, you know, there's some clashing imagery, sure, but I don't think there's anything odd about that. I mean, because people are pregnant sometimes and they want to still have sex, you know? And if that's the place where she is in her life, where, you know, presumably, you know, she's pregnant, but she's either the husband is fine with it, or she's single. All right,
we get it. We get it, Lloyd. You're not going to be canceled off this episode.
I will not be canceled off this episode. You can't.
Definitely nothing weird about that at
nothing
all.
whatsoever.
For the record.
Fellas.
All right. Okay, so let's say not pregnant, drunk and crying. It depends. It could be bad.
Yeah. I mean,
look, it could be a situation where you're taking advantage of someone. But again, it's also like if both people are drinking, it's like, hey, what's wrong? One thing leads to another. I don't know. It really depends on the specifics of the situation.
Sure.
People have regrettable hookups.
They do.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Not crying, pregnant drinking.
Oh, well,
temperature is risen considerably.
Temperature has risen considerably because at this point, you shouldn't drink when you're pregnant. That's just, it's a bad idea.
I mean, I think doctors have differing views.
The science is still out on drinking while pregnant. Is that what you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
God. Well, the ethics of having the ethics, not
like
the
a
ethics
tipsy pregnant person being like, "Hey, what's good looking?" I mean, come on, that's That's a bad look.
So you're not talking about the ethics of the woman who is drinking with while being pregnant. You're talking about the ethics of having sex with that woman.
That is what I'm primarily talking about.
Yes. Okay.
But I guess I'm also just saying that's an alarming situation.
You don't want to think about that. That makes us. We don't want to.
I mean, look, I guess it's unethical on the woman's part too. But I'm just saying it's.
Is it unethical to have sex with that woman because you're not pouring those drinks necessarily? You're not. You're not forcing her.
Of course, it is. You're encouraging that behavior
by having sex with them.
I think so. Yeah.
You're rewarding,
or even worse, you're taking advantage of someone who's drinking in such a situation. You know, I don't see how that's not fucked up.
I think it is.
Hey Lloyd, what were you doing last night? Oh, I was at this party and I was drinking with this woman. She happened to be 6 months pregnant, but let's just say I got lucky. Oh, interesting, Lloyd. You seem like a good guy.
Seems like a good guy. Oh no. See. No, I don't want to touch that.
You're tying yourself into like a woke pretzel where you can't admit that's a fucked up situation.
I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to, like the ethics of having sex with like a drunk person.
Look, to me, if you think you should tell that woman you should stop drinking, if you think it's your place to say that, then there's no way you can justify not doing that and having sex with that woman. I'm not sure how you separate those two.
What if you
things.
Negotiate? I'll have sex with you if you stop drinking.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Now we're getting
problem
somewhere.
solved.
Yeah.
No one's canceled. We can all walk off into the sunset.
All right. Very good. All right.
That is unfortunate though that happened.
Okay, but
I don't like thinking about that.
But that's not what happened.
Oh.
What happened was worse.
Yes.
What happened was drinking, crying, pregnant.
Yes. So inebriated.
So explain to me why that is worse, or if it is worse.
I mean,
the person's very obviously going through something.
I think, obviously, like with all three, like this is the worst case scenario. Like it wouldn't have been, it can't get any worse for Dale here.
This is truly bleak.
Absolutely.
This woman is like the saddest person in the world.
Yeah.
Drunk, pregnant, and crying at a college party.
Yeah.
I was sad enough only doing one of those things at a college party. But to have the burden of a presumably unwanted child and going through like some degree of emotional turmoil with the partner, I mean, that's bad. That's bad, a low place to be.
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, boy.
And so, like, on paper, it's like obvious that Dale did something pretty bad. It sounds like, you just kind of say that in the cold light of day. Like, yeah, I went to a party and there was a pregnant woman who was crying and she was drunk and I hooked up with her.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty fucked.
It sounds pretty fucked, man. Listen, I'm no argument from me. Like,
and I just want to add, though, that this does not absolve him of responsibility. But I really don't think it came from like a lecherous place. I really think it came from him being so socially maladjusted that he didn't have like an away, like he was drinking himself, but it was also like his
I know this guy. Like he's
It was. I think it really came from a place of like, oh, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing now, But I don't know.
There is I don't know.
I'm still condemning. But I'm just saying,
I am condemning as well, but like it is a difficult proposition to imagine someone without a lot of social skills or romantic experience, like knowing the ethically correct thing to do in that situation. Sure. Like, you kind of get
to be
swept
fair,
up.
You'd have to be pretty far gone. But I would tend to agree. But I am saying he, without condoning, he was that far gone.
Yeah.
And this is what the internet does to people.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then
so he was like a big time gamer and like...
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That was my whole preamble. That's what I think is such crucial context. But another way of looking at it is, look, could this woman be somewhere with, an infant with fetal alcohol syndrome? Maybe. But maybe she woke up And she said, you know, I got that out of my system. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna start taking steps. I'm gonna call my mother. I'm gonna figure out this situation.
Wow.
And maybe she wouldn't have arrived at that bottom point if there wasn't someone as terminally online as Dale. Maybe it was actually
don't railroad this to this place, Ralph. Come on.
This is just another way. It's a different perspective.
Okay.
We feel a lot of different perspectives on feeling well. I'm just saying maybe the Lord sent an angel in the form of a sort of borderline autistic gamer.
Jesus Christ, man.
To unlock a new path for this woman. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's another way of looking at it.
I cannot believe that we would give this airtime, but here we are.
Was this a mistake?
Playing devil's advocate, you know.
Things are getting kind of weird when we were talking about pregnant ladies cruising for dick at college parties.
It's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah. Did I say something problematic there? I just said it was weird. You would find it weird. What are you fucking running for office, Lloyd?
I am not saying it's problematic. No, certainly not. But there is something.
It's like you know, look.
This horrible thing helped this woman turn her life around. It's like that was the
okay. Look, I'm not saying I believe
jump
that
she needed.
I'm referring more to just when I felt like things were getting a little weird when we were talking about, you know, the chillness of a fully pregnant woman looking just for dick at a part. Like, I'm not saying I don't think that's wrong, but it would indicate to me that there might be something weird. I don't meet many pregnant people who are, you know, who are not only just single, but single and then like comfortable, like financially or whatever enough that they would be like, oh, maybe I'll get laid tonight when I can go into labor at any moment, you know?
I agree that such a scenario is probably statistically very rare.
Yeah.
You know, that you have a pregnant person in full control of their faculties, like out in the world looking to get laid. Like, I don't think that happens.
I matched with one on OkCupid once, actually.
You're kidding me.
Well, okay,
really?
Hold on. Let me take that back. I didn't match, but I saw one on OkCupid.
One. Okay,
yeah. So maybe I'm wrong. Folks, look, if I ever express a view you don't like, tell me, I'll change it. All right?
The DMs are open, folks.
All right? My principles are an Etch-a-Sketch. Just tell me I'm boxing in the dark here. All right?
He's glancing back.
If I color outside the lines, feelingwellpod@gmail.com, tell me. I'll change my tune.
We'll read them on air. Like send us your opinions. feelingwellpod@gmail.com.
I would love to give advice if people want to write in.
If people want to write in, like, we will incorporate that.
See, contrary to the views I've expressed, I was just saying it was weird. I wasn't saying it was wrong. Then again, it might be. I'm not saying it's not wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong.
Of course it's not wrong.
I'm hedging even more than Lloyd here, all right?
Yeah.
So, but I think I would like to give you people advice, all right? I actually think Lloyd would be more judgmental.
I think I would.
I imagine getting like an email from someone saying like, oh, I cheated on my girlfriend, and Lloyd would be like, ooh, with your fucking hemming and hawing that you do. Ooh, boyo, you did an emotional abuse. Ooh, boyo. I feel like you'd say something like that, and I'd be like, look, people cheat on each other, but you have to, you got to be honest. I would say something much more. I wouldn't come down on you like that. All right. I'm considerate of human frailty. All right. People make mistakes. You know? Oh, there you go.
I did it. I wasn't even trying. Oh, I went and I judged. Oh, I'm a monster.
Yeah.
What have I become? I used to be such a nice guy.
God, it's only a matter of time before we feud.
I don't think we have to.
We're going to spin off into two different podcasts.
I will never spin off into a different podcast.
I'm going to start a podcast with one of my more problematic friends.
This won't be enough for you.
We'll be whacked out on Adderall. Yeah, it'll be called Fuckcast or something.
Probably.
You'll start a podcast with one of your rose emoji friends.
Listen.
It'll be called like Anarcho Anti-Fash, where we stick it to the bootlickers. It'll just be the most pearl clutching shit. But yeah,
Ralph.
oh boys, we're sticking it to we're boys, girls, and all non-binary individuals. We're sticking it to the fascists today.
All right, Ralph. All right, we get it.
I'm coming at you hard.
You're coming at me hard.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ugh, sue me, huh?
When I'm backed into a corner, I lash out.
You're not in a corner, Ralph. You always feel like you're in a corner, but you're not in a corner.
True. I do have a bit of a persecution complex. Relating back to the manner in which I interpret LOLs and the like.
Yeah. No, a lot of introspection on this episode. A lot of thinking about how we
I'd say so.
think about things.
What's one of your earliest internet memories?
Earliest internet memories, God.
I have one where I was on, I remember I was on AOL Instant Messenger. This was back in the day when we had something called chat rooms.
Chat rooms. I never quite got into chat rooms.
Yeah. So chat rooms, I guess, is just you're basically talking with randomized people, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being a real little kid. I don't know, I must have been like maybe 9 or 10. And I remember, I feel like it was something where you are like randomly paired with people or something like that. Or like, I don't
Like
remember.
one-on-one? Or
For some reason, I was doing one-on-one. I don't remember how it happened. And I just remember there was someone who I believe was a woman, and they just asked me 2 questions. They said like, "Are you white or black?" And I said white. And like they asked me how old I was. And then it just kind of trailed off. It was a little weird. Yeah.
So that's your first internet memory.
That's the first one that comes to mind. I guess that's not a very good story.
Well,
It just seemed a little ominous.
yeah. It's like why lead with that question?
Yeah, I think they were looking to take advantage of children.
I see.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you do.
And folks,
in Internet 1.0.
look, the pregnant woman affair, again, whatever you may think of it, but, the pederast on the internet, that's a big non-ideal from us, all right? Get the heck out of here. Let that be. I just want all our moral stances, while they may be subject to change, I just want them, that's bad.
In no uncertain terms.
All right? Unambiguously, that's not going in my group chat if I had one.
No way.
All right?
No way.
Zoomers, you're young yet. Don't get too comfortable.
Oh boy, there was one instance where one of my group chats that I'm not really active in anymore, but there was a person who was in one of these group chats and was like trying to argue that, very, very woke individual trying to argue that children should be able to consent to sex from.
Didn't this go viral recently?
No, this was a while ago, and it didn't. It was like a pretty.
I don't know how sincere they are, but I do think there's a few accounts that are trying to include pedophiles
that
in
is a
the
thing.
LGBTQ tent or whatever.
Yes,
yeah.
I've seen that, and
I don't know how sincere it is.
I
think it's mostly a troll.
I think it is mostly a troll because that's the thing. Who's that guy? The guy that took down Acorn. Do you know him?
Yeah, that conservative Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's the one
type of guy.
But he
only not funny at all.
He did a couple of things where he was trying to put.
Well, there was that woman who tweeted that there should be porn made for children.
I did not see that one.
Yeah, she was saying children need to learn somehow, so we should make porn that's specifically designed for children.
Oh boy, that's something else. I did not see that.
But again, here's the thing: it's how much does she actually believe that? I think it's just people try to outdo each other so much on Twitter.
There is a bit of that.
They wind up in places that they don't even really believe.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be in that place. What I was going to bring up.
What I was saying earlier sound not so bad.
It sounds not so bad when you put them next to each other.
Yeah. So.
But that is James O'Keefe is the guy's name.
Yes, him.
And he was. It was during the first wave
Isn't it
of
wild that actually took down an organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not.
That's how spineless libs are, that they would allow themselves to be that embarrassed to the extent that they're oh, but we're the good guys. We're gonna take the high road and get rid of our own organization that helps a lot underserved
of people
vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No good.
You Zoomers won't know of this.
I hope so.
I hope I'm thinking we're gonna have a big Zoomer audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
But that is a thing that people like James O'Keefe like to do is like during the first wave of popular protests after Trump got inaugurated, there were, like he would organize some small group of people to like hold a banner.
He's still out there.
He's still out there. He likes to do, like troll shit and
churning out the content.
It was, I forget what exactly the sign said, but it was like a lying NAMBLA with like a bunch of like rising, like either Black Lives Matter or DSA or some
like classic joke. Not that it's like I meant NAMBLA. It was like in a South Park episode from the 90s and everything. I'm just saying I'm not endorsing that, but
but it was it's a
in case that was unclear.
He doesn't. He thinks it's bad. He's no uncertain terms.
So he was doing a stunt suggesting that like left-wing people were endorsing that
these woke people are getting hopped up that like, what's next? Marrying a child? That's what they say.
But he has too much competition nowadays. I don't imagine that got much traction, right?
I mean,
but then again, who knows? I mean, like what our grandparents consume on Facebook and stuff. Ooh. I saw my grandmother post a meme on Facebook recently. It had Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino, the Punisher logo, and small in the corner a silhouette of the Boondock Saints.
Is that real?
I see it was real. I don't remember what the text was, but it's like how hilarious that my sweet old grandmother is sharing this meme with all these things. So even everyone from
those strong boys,
just you, me, Dale, my grandmother, all being poisoned by the internet.
God,
you love to see it.
I don't like thinking about that at all. That's too bad. That's too bad. Are you still on Facebook, Ralph?
I have a Facebook, but it's just very. I don't use it really. I just created it to make a movie page for a project I was doing.
Okay. Well, oh boy. No, I've been off for a while. It's not worth it to me. Like.
Oh no! I mean, Facebook is.
It's garbage, and they also
no one's really on Facebook. Facebook is just for middle-aged people.
It's for middle-aged people.
It's for old people to receive right-wing propaganda.
It is.
Really.
It is, and like I'm sure you saw like Facebook is going to continue to publish like political ads this election cycle.
Mm-hmm. I like Instagram. Instagram is my favorite.
Instagram's
where I have fun. If you want to follow me at Ralph Maffatone.
Yeah,
my Instagram followers are my most treasured followers.
Yeah, they are. You've been consistent for how long have you been on that website?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
I guess since like 2014.
Sure. Yeah, it's he does you do like a lot of fun things to your coworkers. And
I bully my one coworker.
Yeah.
I haven't posted like that in a while, but I used to post like I remember I just like terrorize him all the time.
It's the most riveting stuff.
Yeah, like
I really enjoy it.
Yeah. I can talk about more how I treat him on a future episode.
Yeah, but you should. You should.
Because it really is psychotic.
I'm so glad I never worked for you. Like I was this close to working for you, and I just dodged that bullet.
So do we want to wrap it up here?
I think we ought to wrap it up. This has been fun.
Folks, follow us on Twitter at FeelingWellPod.
That's right. I'm at Void Howler,
and I'm at PLS. Please God help me, PLS. And Lloyd, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. All right, see you guys.
Bye.